Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome to another edition of Syber School. And today I'm joined again by Thomas from Adata. How's it going, man? It's great to see you.
Good to see you again too.
So I've seen you brought some variety of goodies. This is storage, but let me have you explain a little bit what kind of storage this is.
So we have our two new PCIe M.2 SSDs. So this one, the first one is the S10. It has this cool heatsink on it, and it's really good SSD. And then we have our SX8000, which is slightly faster, and it comes in both a heatsink and a non-heatsink variety.
Okay, so let me ask this real quick. What would be the difference of using this one and this one? Like, would this be for more gamers, and this one be for more people who are casually using it, or what would we be using these for?
So anybody who wants an upgrade of speed from a regular SATA SSD would use a PCIe M.2 drive, because these are pretty fast, especially when it comes to those read speeds. So these things can be up to 3 times faster. Like this one alone is 3 times faster on the read speed than your standard or than your high-end SATA 3 SSD.
Okay, very nice. Now, like I noticed that you have these smaller ones, and then we look at stuff like this, the bigger kind of SSDs that are out there. Like, why would somebody want this as compared to that?
Well, there's a few reasons. So you might want this one, or you might want an M.2 one because the build that you're building in has a small form factor, and it doesn't have space really for an SSD. It needs to be inside one of the M.2 slots because that's all that really fits in there. Another reason you might use it is because, like I said, you want that speed boost, because these standard SATA drives, SATA 3 drives, have 3 times lower read speeds and much lower write speeds than any PCIe SSD. Right?
Which makes sense, because you're going against something that has a wire and plugged in from that wire to directly into the motherboard itself.
Right. So there is a slight premium if you wanted to buy a PCIe M.2 drive.
Yeah.
But overall, the performance is going to be better than if you had a SATA 3 drive.
Yeah. No. I've seen the table margins for every one of these, and like they do really well. So, you know, most of the times, a lot of you guys maybe get confused between what you also see as Intel's Optane, which is kind of like the same thing, but the difference between your guys is and theirs, what would that be? I mean, like, would you see, because like Optane is more about sped up.
Optane just is supposed to be to make your hard drive seem faster. So it's just like a cache area for your hard drive, right?
Why this just is faster.
And this one just is faster. So you're going to, once you fill up that Optane cache, it's going to slow down to whatever the hard drive speed is again. Whereas with SSDs, so some of them do have caches on them, but in general, transferring between an SSD even without the cache is going to be faster than if you were using any hard drive.
Okay, very cool. Yeah. Now there is something that has come up to me, and I've been talking about this because some people try to shortcut and use virtual RAM as compared to our virtual memory and virtual RAM and storage themselves as virtual, using all the parts across the board. Like, how do you feel about that? Like, do you think that's something that's helpful to people, or do you think that's more of taking away depending on the people using it?
I think that there's a variety of ways that you could go if you want to improve the speed of your PC when it comes to transferring to and from your storage. In general, I'd say the easiest and most simple way for most people to upgrade their PC to get that speed that they want is going to be just get an SSD. So even the slowest SSD is going to make a much bigger impact than a hard drive.
No, and I have to agree with you, because I mean, looking at how the programs work today, I always wanted to ask that as a question to people, because I've noticed a lot of VR talks coming up, like not in the sense of you put them on your head kind of VR, but more of like virtual reality or VR kind of RAM or memory. Like we met with some people that said like, oh, you want to expand your memory, or your RAM, or memory, and you can actually use the RAM to be part of that cache bank, or you can use another thing. So it's kind of one of those things where I wanted to get people's gauge and say, like, what do you think this really is? Is this useful to us, or is this more hurtful? And to me, I've always thought it'd be hurtful for the simple fact that with the physical form of what they are and how fast they write, virtual will never really catch up to that point, because it's usually just using the same thing. It seems like you're just adding another layer to the cake that you don't need.
Right. I mean, you could do that if you really wanted to, but in most cases, you could be bottlenecked by multiple other parts.
And there you go.
Yeah.
See, and there you go, folks. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Thomas. I do appreciate it. Guys, and thank you for watching, guys. If you liked the video, please make sure you like, share, and comment. Even if it's them trolly things you want to say to me. Or if you want to correct us, or you have a question, please feel free to put them on there, guys. Because that's what we're about here. We're a school of education and PCs. We don't offer degrees, but we sure as well won't fail you like the current school system. So, besides that, ladies and gentlemen, knowledge is power. No, I'm just kidding. As we always say here, guys, thanks for stopping by.